Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have got a top 15 video, although actually a top 10. But this is top 10 in a mystery solved by Reddit. Usually does 15. Today he's doing only 10. We don't get right into it. Let's go.
Number 10. Strongsville Jane Doe. Girl from Akron, Ohio, who disappeared on September 1st, 1974. After an argument with her stepfather, Byron Claflin. Pagano had returned home late from a concert and was reportedly asked to leave the house by Claflin. She was never seen alive again. Linda's disappearance
I'm always suspicious of Claflin.
was originally treated as a missing person case. Her family and friends held out hope that she might still be alive, but as days turned into months and months into years, the case went cold. It wasn't until 1975 that there was any significant update, though the clues would not be pieced together for decades to come. On February 5th, 1975, a group of boys discovered a partial skeleton along the banks of the Rocky River in Strongsville, Ohio. The remains included a skull with a bullet hole, indicating a violent death. But the body could not be identified at the time, and the victim was referred to as the Strongsville Jane Doe. For years, the identity of the Strongsville Jane Doe remained a mystery. Despite various efforts by law enforcement, advancements in forensic technology, and public appeals, no one came forward with information that could lead to her identification. The case faded from the public eye until the advent of internet communities dedicated to solving cold cases. Reddit, known for its diverse and highly engaged user base, became
Reddit is a very split thing. I've done a post reading Reddit stories. Reddit is something else. It's either there's some goods to it and some bads to it.
a key player in reviving interest in many unsolved mysteries. In particular, the subreddit r/unresolved mysteries provides a platform for amateur sleuths to share information and theories about various cases. In 2017, a post about the Strongsville Jane Doe caught the attention of several dedicated users who began to dig deeper. A crucial breakthrough came when a Reddit user, who was familiar with the case, noted similarities between the Strongsville Jane Doe and Linda Pagano. This user, along with others on the subreddit, began comparing details from the missing person report of Pagano with the characteristics of the unidentified remains. The comparisons were compelling. Both Pagano and the Jane Doe had similar dental features, and the timeline of Pagano's disappearance matched the estimated time frame of death of the Jane Doe. Encouraged by these findings, Reddit users urged authorities to re-examine the case with modern forensic techniques. In 2018, the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office, in collaboration with the DNA Doe Project, took up the case. They conducted a thorough DNA analysis and compared the results with samples from Pagano's surviving relatives. The results confirmed what the internet sleuths had suspected. Strongsville Jane Doe was indeed Linda Pagano. This identification not only provided closure for Linda Pagano's family, but also highlighted the impact of collective efforts in solving cold cases. The collaboration between law enforcement and the online
I don't know if that really provides closure, because that means whoever murdered her got away with it for years. And still probably is at large, because I doubt they're going to be able to track him down after all these years.
community was pivotal in bringing the long-forgotten case back into the spotlight and eventually solving it. The murder of Linda Pagano remains an open investigation, as identifying her was just the first step. The circumstances surrounding her death, including who was responsible for the bullet hole in her skull, are still being investigated. However, thanks to the efforts of Reddit users and modern forensic science, Linda Pagano is no longer a Jane Doe, and her family has finally been given the first steps towards closure after more than 4 decades of mystery.
I still look into the father.
Number 9. The bugged extension cord. In 2013, a Reddit user named ShadyBusiness15 sought help from the Reddit community after discovering something alarming in his home. The incident began when an electrical issue led him to investigate what he thought was simply a malfunctioning extension cord. What he found inside was both unexpected and disturbing. ShadyBusiness15 initially posted his query on the subreddit r/whatisthisthing, describing his experience and asking for help identifying a mysterious device he had found. His post read, "Blew a fuse in my extension cord. Took apart the extension cord and found this inside. What is this thing?" The post included a photo of the disassembled extension cord, revealing an unfamiliar electronic component embedded within. The Reddit community quickly responded, with many users examining the photo and offering their theories. The collective curiosity and expertise of the subreddit were soon brought to bear on the problem. Among the responses, a user named Potato Trousers made a critical observation, identifying the mysterious component as a hidden microphone. He commented, "That's a microphone. It's not part of the extension cord's original design. Someone put it there intentionally." This identification sparked a wave of concern and further analysis. Other users chimed in, confirming that the component looked like audio surveillance equipment. One user, Chippy569, added, "Yeah, definitely a mic. You should get the police involved ASAP." ShadyBusiness15, shocked by this revelation, provided more context in follow-up comments. He explained that he had recently moved into a new apartment and had been feeling uneasy about his landlord, who had displayed odd behavior. The discovery of the hidden microphone intensified his fears, prompting him to seek advice on the next steps he should take. Redditors in the r/RBI, Reddit Bureau of Investigation, subreddit offered detailed guidance on how to proceed. One user recommended, "You should contact the police and report this immediately. They can help you figure out who put it there and why."
I don't think it'll be as easy as it sounds. I don't think that's as easy as it sounds. I don't think it'll be that easy for them to just figure out who it belongs to. I could be wrong, though.
Another user suggested, "Get a professional to sweep your apartment for other hidden devices.
Good move.
If there's one, there might be more."
Good move.
Heeding the community's advice, ShadyBusiness15 contacted the local authorities and reported the hidden microphone. The police launched an investigation, confirming that the device was indeed a surveillance microphone. The authorities took steps to ensure his safety and to determine who had installed the device, but no further update was given by the original poster. Number
It's because he's dealing with shady business, as this thing says.
8. Hit and Run. In August 2018, the Reddit community demonstrated the power of collective intelligence and digital sleuthing by solving a tragic hit-and-run case involving Susan Rainwater, a cyclist who was struck and killed while riding her bicycle in Eatonville, Washington. This case highlights how a single piece of evidence in the hands of a determined online community can bring justice to victims and their families. Susan Rainwater was an avid cyclist who was enjoying a ride on a rural road when she was fatally struck by a vehicle that fled the scene. Local authorities found few clues at the crash site, but they discovered a broken piece of plastic among the debris. With little to go on, the case seemed destined to become another unsolved tragedy. However, the story took a remarkable
Not on Reddit, it won't be.
turn when a photo of the broken plastic part was posted on Reddit by a user named Gurutaku in the subreddit r/whatisthisthing. The user asked the community for help identifying the mysterious object, hoping it could lead to the vehicle involved in the hit and run. The Reddit post read, "Found this piece of plastic at the scene of a fatal hit and run. Can anyone identify the car it belongs to?" The post quickly garnered attention, and within hours, Car enthusiasts and experts from around the world began to analyze the part. The community's collective knowledge about automobiles became evident as users meticulously examined the shape, texture, and markings on the plastic piece. One user, Zachary2, identified the part as a headlight bezel from a late-model Chevrolet Silverado. This breakthrough was significant. The identification of the vehicle model provided the police with a crucial lead. Armed with this information, investigators...
I'm surprised, like, this isn't meant to... I'm surprised the officers will take anything from Reddit. Because someday if I pitched the thing and Reddit thought it belonged to a Chevy... new from Chevy truck, I think most people, like, most police would just laugh at me and be like, what the fuck do they know? We can't just take their word for it.
Began to search for late-model Chevrolet Silverados in the area that might have damage consistent with the hit and run. The Reddit community continued to assist, with some users even using Google Maps and social media to track down possible suspects. Their efforts paid off when the authorities, following up on the tip, located a damaged Chevrolet Silverado that matched the description. The vehicle owner was questioned, and evidence linking the truck to the fatal accident was found. Though Susan Rainwater's loss was still a painful one, her family had answers thanks to the efforts of the online community. Number 7. Landlord posted notes in the apartment. In April 2015, a Reddit user known as Dogforth1 turned to the r/legal advice subreddit for help with a perplexing and...
Oh, I remember this one. I know what this one is. I remember this story. This one's insane.
Unsettling situation. He posted, "I live alone, and I'm the only person with a key to my apartment. But recently, I've been finding post-it notes left around my apartment in places I know I didn't leave them. They're innocuous things, like remember to get milk and ring Jason. But, for example, I don't know anyone named Jason." Understandably, Dogforth1 was alarmed and concerned about the possibility of someone entering his apartment without his knowledge. He mentioned that his landlord was dismissive and unhelpful when approached.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, right? I never would have went with the landlord because the thought in my head that a landlord breaks into my apartment just to leave sticky notes reminding me to get milk is very weird to me. So, like, I don't think I would have ever went with the landlord.
Approached about the issue. He had even resorted to installing a webcam to catch the culprit, but found nothing unusual when he watched back the footage. As the community began to respond, the thread quickly filled with a variety of theories and suggestions. Some users proposed that it could be a case of someone pranking him, or that perhaps a previous tenant might still have a key. Others speculated about the possibility of a more sinister situation involving a stalker. However, a pivotal comment shifted the direction of the investigation entirely. A user named BlocksKitty posted a comment suggesting a less obvious, but far more dangerous cause. "You should get a carbon monoxide detector. Sounds like you might have CO poisoning, and you're writing the notes yourself." This comment was rooted in the understanding that carbon monoxide, or CO poisoning, can cause symptoms such as memory loss, confusion, and hallucinations, potentially leading someone to perform actions they don't remember, like writing notes. Another user elaborated on this idea, adding more context and urgency. CO poisoning is a serious matter. It's colorless and odorless, so you wouldn't notice it. It can cause memory loss and confusion, which might explain why you're finding notes you don't remember writing. The community quickly rallied around this theory, with multiple users echoing the advice and urging Dogforth1 to act immediately. One user emphasized the potential danger. Get out of your apartment and call the fire department to check for CO. This can be deadly if not addressed. Taking the advice to heart, Dogforth 1 promptly purchased a carbon monoxide detector and installed it in his apartment. The detector quickly registered dangerously high levels of carbon monoxide, confirming the suspicions raised by the Reddit community. In a follow-up post, he detailed his findings and subsequent actions taken. Thanks to everyone who suggested it was CO poisoning. You guys saved my life. I got a detector and it showed high levels of CO. The fire department found that the boiler in my apartment was leaking gas. This revelation was both a relief and a cause for alarm. The malfunctioning boiler was a potentially fatal hazard that had been leaking carbon monoxide into the apartment. The original poster listening to the comments encouraging him to evacuate.
This is another thing to say, like, because this could have been a case of someone who's like, no, it's the landlord, right? He's so heavy set, he's so dead set that it's the landlord that he will ignore all else of advice. This guy heard like, hey, get a carbon monoxide detector, and went, actually, it's not a bad idea. So he went and got one. It turns out we could have died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
Evacuate immediately and contact the fire department prevented what could have been a tragic outcome. Number 6. Grateful Doe. On June 26, 1995, an unidentified young man was found dead in Emporia, Virginia, following a tragic car accident. The victim had no identification, and despite efforts by authorities, his identity remained unknown for nearly 2 decades. The young man was dubbed Grateful Doe due to the Grateful Dead concert ticket stubs and band memorabilia found with him. The case grew limited attention for many years, and various theories circulated about the young man's identity and background. Some speculated he was a runaway, while others believed he might have been a fan following the Grateful Dead on tour. Despite his distinctive appearance, which included tattoos and long hair, no one came forward to claim him, and he was buried without a name. In 2014, Reddit posts sparked renewed interest in the case, where users in the r/unresolved mysteries subreddit began discussing the Grateful Doe case. The community members were drawn to the mystery and the tragic nature of the unidentified young man who had remained nameless for so long. It was not long before the case had its own subreddit, r/Grateful Doe, which quickly became a hub for speculation about the case and those eager to uncover the truth. The investigation took a significant turn when Reddit users started sharing comparisons of the composite sketches of Grateful Doe alongside missing persons reports from and around the same time period. They meticulously compared physical descriptions, tattoos, and any available photographs. One user shared a photograph of a young man named Jason Callahan who bore a striking resemblance to Grateful Doe. This post caught the attention of other users, many of whom began scouring for more information about the possible connection. Meanwhile, another Reddit user reached out to the media, which helped to amplify the story. The power of social media and online communities played a crucial role in keeping the momentum going. More individuals came forward with potential leads, and the subreddit facilitated a collaborative effort to piece together the puzzle. Through these concerted efforts, it was discovered that Jason Callahan, a young man from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, had been missing since 1995. His family had not initially filed a missing person report, believing that he was living his life independently and would return when ready. The resemblance between the photos of Jason and the sketches of Grateful Doe was undeniable.
Yeah, that's not even, like, I wouldn't debate it. I'm like, yeah, it's probably right, let's test it.
Prompting further investigation. The turning point came when DNA technology was employed. In 2015, the DNA Doe Project, an organization dedicated to identifying John and Jane Does through genetic genealogy, compared DNA samples from Grateful Doe's remains with samples from Jason Callahan's family. The results confirmed that Grateful Doe was indeed Jason Callahan. Jason Callahan was born on January 9, 1976, in Myrtle Beach. He was a free spirit, known for his love of adventure and the Grateful Dead. In June 1995, he set out on a road trip to follow the band, a journey from which he would never return. His family, believing he was pursuing his passion, had not realized the gravity of his disappearance. The identification of Jason Callahan brought a mixture of relief and sorrow to his family. They were finally able to lay him to rest properly and gain some closure, though it also reopened old wounds.
Because I wonder if they were like, it brought them close because they knew where he was and unfortunately knew what happened to him. But also, I wonder if it, like, I don't even know if it started new wounds. Because I wonder if the family the whole time was wondered if he was, just going about his life and find out he's been dead pretty much since he left the place.
For the online community, it was a moment of triumph and validation, showcasing the potential for collective effort to resolve even the most perplexing cold cases. Number 5. Hotel Zaza. The Hotel Zaza in Houston, Texas became the focal point of a perturbing mystery in 2013 when a Reddit user shared an eerie experience involving room 322. This particular room, with its bizarre decor and unsettling atmosphere, quickly captured the attention of the internet, sparking intense speculation. The mystery began with a post on Reddit's r/unresolved mysteries by a user who described stumbling upon room 322 during a stay at Hotel Zaza. The room was unlike any other in the upscale hotel, featuring a dungeon-like aesthetic with concrete floors, mirrored ceilings, and disturbing artwork. Most notably, the room contained a single small bed chained to the wall, and a peculiar portrait of a man with an oversized head. So, my boss travels to
Please tell me the reveal is this isn't an actual room.
Houston a lot, and he usually stays at Hotel Zaza. He got a room there, but this one was completely different from any other room he's ever stayed in. It had cement floors, a singular bed in the middle of the room, and one whole wall was a mirror. There was also this really weird picture of some dude with an oversized head on the wall. He said it looked like something straight out of a horror movie. The post quickly went viral, and internet sleuths began to dig deeper into the mystery of room 322. Speculation ran rampant, and several theories came to the fore. Given the room's austere and bizarre decor, some speculated that room 322 might be designed for unconventional and potentially illicit activities. The strange artwork and the overall ambiance also led some to believe that secret societies used the room for rituals or clandestine meetings. Another widespread theory was that room 322 was used by secret societies for rituals or clandestine meetings. The strange artwork, particularly the portrait of the man with an oversized head, along with the room's overall mysterious ambiance, fueled this speculation. Some internet detectives suggested that the room's number, 322, could be a reference to the Skull and Bones Society, a secret society at Yale University that is associated with the number 322.
That's a stretch. That's a fucking stretch completely.
This theory posited that the room's peculiar design was meant to serve as a symbolic or functional space for the activities of a powerful and secretive elite group. Some individuals suggested that room 322 might have been some kind of avant-garde art installation designed to provoke and unsettle guests as part of a broader artistic vision. Hotel Zaza is known for its eclectic and themed rooms, and this theory posited that room 322 was simply another example of the hotel's commitment to unique and memorable decor. Proponents of this theory argued that the room's design was meant to challenge guests' perceptions and evoke a strong emotional response. The unsettling artwork, unconventional layout, and dungeon-like aesthetic could be interpreted as deliberate choices intended to create a one-of-a-kind experience that guests would not soon forget. As the mystery gained traction, various media outlets and investigative bloggers began to explore the story. Vice published an article delving into the internet frenzy surrounding Room 322, detailing the various theories and the ongoing efforts of online detectives to uncover the truth. The article highlighted how the room, not listed on the hotel's website, had a history of evoking strong reactions from guests.
There's no history on the hotel website. It probably doesn't exist. I will bet that it just doesn't. It's not an actual room.
Who stumbled upon it. Swampland, a local Houston blog, contacted the hotel for clarification. Hotel Zaza's management denied any sinister or unusual purpose behind the room, stating that it was simply a uniquely themed room as part of the hotel's eclectic decor.
Oh, so they just confirmed it was a room. It's just not one that people think is the fucking room of the devil or whatever the fuck they think is going on there.
According to the hotel, the room was intentionally designed to stand out and provide a memorable experience for guests.
Shouldn't you let someone know if you send them to that room or what the room is, though? Or is that the point of the themed room, is you're just not going to know what you get until you enter it?
The mystery of Room 322 was ultimately laid to rest, thanks to the dedicated efforts of a Reddit user who posted a detailed investigation on r/unresolved mysteries. This user embarked on a thorough investigation, speaking with Zaza employees, researching the hotel's history, and scouring the internet for clues. Their persistence paid off when they discovered a blueprint of the room that revealed a hidden detail. This bugged me a lot. For the past couple of days, I've been researching as hard as I can about the history of the hotel. I was speaking with a few employees of Zaza on background, and digging as deep as I could onto the internet, now wondering, was the conspiracy theories right all along? Although there was no real evidence directly pointing to anything sinister going on with the room, there was so much circumstantial stuff that made it really easy to tell a story that matched up with what we knew about this weird hotel room. The breakthrough came when a user found a blueprint showing a supposed secret room behind the mirror. Initially, this seemed to confirm the wildest theories about Room 322. I found a blueprint of the room showing a secret room behind the mirror. Not only that, but it appeared that the door to get into this secret room was the exact door I found padlocked inside the hotel staff room. The blueprint image I found was on an obscure blog post from around the time that this was originally making the rounds. And although it refuted the claim that there was a secret room back there, I felt like they hadn't taken into account the door that I had found. Not only that, but this room didn't appear to have any other way to enter it other than through the padlocked door. It appeared to be a bathroom of some sort, which I assumed may have been some sort of cover for this room's true purpose as a possible observation room. However, upon deeper investigation, the user found that the blueprint had been misinterpreted. The supposed secret room behind the mirror was actually just a bathroom for the adjacent room, 321. So I took a closer look at the blueprint, and sure enough, that secret observation room I was going so crazy to find, it turns out it's just a weirdly placed bathroom for room 321 around the corner. I've marked it up to illustrate how the exact layout is. The padlocked door you can see opens into a small closet, most likely the electrical paneling that the Zaza employee on background had told me about. Further validation came from an insider who explained the odd design choices, debunking any sinister implications. That two-way mirror in 322 hangs on the bathroom wet wall for the more spacious Suite 321 next door. So, in the secret voyeur room case, you'd be standing in the bathroom next door and looking through a piping chase full of sanitary and domestic water lines. The bricks are a veneer that they decided to stop at the frame of the mirror. This comprehensive investigation and explanation resolved the mystery, revealing that room 322 was merely an oddly designed hotel room with unique decor, not a site for illicit activities. Number 4. U/throwaway 99D58AW. In July 2019, a Reddit user named throwaway 99D58AW turned to the r/relationship advice subreddit with a deeply troubling situation that had begun to unfold in his family. His wife, who had always been loving and devoted, suddenly began to exhibit inexplicable hostility and resentment towards him and their children. This dramatic change in behavior left him bewildered and desperate for answers. He shared his concerns in a detailed post. "My wife started to hate me and our kids out of a sudden. She started behaving very strangely, became extremely irritable, and even said she regrets marrying me and having kids. This change came out of nowhere, and I have no idea what's going on. She was a loving wife and mother."
Why did you post this? Why is this up here for? This has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with this.
Just a few weeks ago, the Reddit community responded quickly, with numerous users offering their support and suggestions. Many advised him to seek immediate professional help, recommending counseling or therapy to address what appeared to be a severe mental health crisis. However, one user's comment stood out for its specificity and depth of knowledge. This user suggested that the symptoms described by throwaway 99D58AW could be indicative of a medical condition known as autoimmune encephalitis. Autoimmune encephalitis is a rare but serious condition where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks the brain, leading to inflammation. This inflammation can cause a variety of psychiatric and neurological symptoms, including sudden behavioral changes, mood swings, cognitive impairment, and even psychosis. The user who made this suggestion wrote, "This sounds like it could be autoimmune encephalitis. It's a condition where the immune system starts attacking the brain, leading to sudden and severe changes in behavior and personality. Please get her to a doctor ASAP and mention this." This comment resonated with throwaway.
I'm glad that people who give good advice, because there's some people on Reddit who just give awful advice because they're fucking stupid. There are some stupid people on Reddit. Sorry for Reddit people, but there are some stupid ones, and they will give awful advice.
99D58AW, who realized that the suggested condition matched his wife's symptoms closely. Taking the advice seriously, he decided to take immediate action. In his follow-up post, he updated the Reddit community on the steps he had taken based on the advice he had received. After reading some of the comments, particularly the one about autoimmune encephalitis, I took my wife to see a neurologist. We explained her sudden behavioral changes, and they decided to run some tests. The neurologist, upon hearing the detailed account of his wife's symptoms, agreed that autoimmune encephalitis was a plausible diagnosis. They conducted a series of tests, including MRI scans to check for brain inflammation and blood tests to detect specific antibodies typically associated with the condition. The results confirmed the presence of brain inflammation and the antibodies, leading to a definitive diagnosis of autoimmune encephalitis.
Wow.
The diagnosis was a
They full on nailed it. That Redditor full on nailed that diagnosis. Without even meeting the chick or anything like that. Just going by this guy's post. He just immediately was like, yep, that's what it is.
turning point. With the cause confirmed, the doctors began an aggressive treatment regimen. This typically involves immunotherapy, which includes the use of corticosteroids to reduce inflammation, intravenous immunoglobulin, IVIG, to modulate the immune response, and sometimes plasmapheresis to remove harmful antibodies from the blood. The goal of the treatment is to suppress the immune system's attack on the brain and ultimately reduce the inflammation that causes the symptoms. As the treatment progressed, throwaway 99D58AW's wife began to show signs of improvement. Her irritability and hostility started to diminish, and she began to regain her former loving demeanor. The change was a relief for the entire family, who had been living in a state of confusion and fear. Throwaway 99D58AW shared another update with the Reddit community, expressing his profound gratitude. Thank you to everyone who commented and offered advice, especially to the person who mentioned autoimmune encephalitis. You were right, and because of you, we got the diagnosis and treatment we needed. My wife is starting to get better, and things are slowly returning to normal. I can't thank you enough for helping save her life and our family. Number 3. Scott Kleesholt. In June 2016, a chilling and mysterious post on Reddit's r/AskReddit subreddit sparked a flurry of online sleuthing that led unexpectedly to a decades-old missing persons case. The post, titled "To Those Who Have Accidentally Killed Someone, What Went Wrong?" prompted a series of replies, but one in particular stood out and soon captured the attention of amateur detectives on the internet. The anonymous Reddit user replied with a haunting account, stating, "This still haunts me to this day." As
I've been told this has never been solved. I don't believe this actually got solved at all. I'm pretty sure this is not confirmed at all to be solved. Unless this has changed again over the years. But last I remember, this was never solved.
As kids, we had a hideout in this dirt cliff/cove. This is the best approximation I can find on Google, only 3 times taller and probably 10 times as wide. There was a neighborhood kid who, in hindsight, but to us he was just the weird/creepy kid. This was the 80s, and we weren't.
They were saying in hindsight he's probably mentally handicapped. But now at the time they just looked at him as a weird kid, which was the case in the 80s.
Weren't exactly raised PC. 3 of us were headed to our base and found Creepy Kid sitting at the top in our guard chair. We yelled at him to get out, and he said something like, "Make me," and started lobbing dirt clods and sticks down at us. We all ran around the side to make our way up. It gets pretty fuzzy here, but all I remember is he fell. I still remember the sound. When we got back down to check on him, he was in a very awkward position. We all just freaked out and ran home, and as far as I know, no one has spoken a word of this to anyone. We didn't go back for over a month, and never said a word of it between us. Again, this was the 80s, so media wasn't like today. Chances are it got a small article in the newspaper B section. Missing mentally disabled child found dead after fall, or something like that. The eerie similarity between this account and the 1988 disappearance of Scott Kleesholt from St. Charles, Missouri.
No, I remember this was confirmed to not be him. This was confirmed to not be Scott, so this Reddit post has nothing to do with Scott, so unless I'm missing a big detail I was missed out. Last I heard this was not connected. This room to not be him.
led to intense speculation and investigation by internet sleuths. Scott Cleesholt was a 9-year-old boy who vanished on June 8, 1988. On the day of his disappearance, severe weather, including thunderstorms and flooding, hit the St. Charles area. Scott was last seen walking near his home, and despite extensive searches and investigations, no trace of him was ever found. His disappearance left his family and the community in a state of anguish and confusion for years. The Reddit replies description of a young boy falling into a hole while exploring dirt coves resonated with the details of Scott's case. The reply mentioned that the incident happened when the user was around 12 years old, which matched the approximate age of someone who could have been around the same age as Scott at the time of his disappearance. This connection, though tenuous, was enough to ignite a wave of interest and further inquiry by the Reddit community.
This one's bullshit.
Reddit user TopGolfUFO.
This entire one's bullshit because it leads to nothing. And if the solved thing is that's not this person, that's not it solved. That's eliminating a suspect for the who this could be. But this is not in any way solving the case.
Took a deep dive into the case, compiling extensive write-ups to draw more attention and potentially gather more information. In their detailed posts, they examined the timelines, geographical details, and the psychological aspects of why someone might confess anonymously on the internet years later. TopGolfUFO wrote, "The timeline matches up. If this Reddit user was around 12 years old in 1988, it's conceivable that they could have been exploring the same area where Scott went missing. The fact that they mentioned caves is particularly striking, given that St. Charles has many underground caves and drainage systems that could be linked to the disappearance." These write-ups fueled further discussion and analysis. The community speculated on the psychological motivations behind the anonymous confession, debating whether it was a genuine admission or a hoax perpetrated by a troll. Some users argued that the guilt and trauma of such an incident could compel someone to confess anonymously years later, while others cautioned against drawing definitive conclusions without more concrete evidence. The online sleuths also examined local geography and historical weather reports, trying to pinpoint potential cave locations that might align with the description given in the Reddit post. They mapped out possible areas where Scott could have fallen and cross-referenced them with known search efforts from 1988. Despite the compelling narrative and the thorough investigation by Reddit users, there was no definitive evidence to conclusively link the anonymous Reddit post to Scott Cleesholt's disappearance. The police were made aware of the Reddit discussions and the potential lead, but without more concrete information, the case remained unsolved. The interest generated by the Reddit thread did, however, bring renewed attention to Scott Cleesholt's case. Media outlets picked up the story, highlighting the power of internet communities to re-examine cold cases and bring new perspectives and possible leads. If you have any information relating to Scott Cleesholt's disappearance, you can contact St. Charles Community Regional Crime Stoppers at 636-949-3333. Number 2.
They didn't solve anything! This one's a sham! Number 3's a sham, they didn't solve fuck all! They're just pointing out possible things, that's not solving anything, they didn't solve shit! This is top 9.
Lena Chapin. Lena Chapin had a tumultuous early life, marred by instability and family turmoil. Born into a large family, Lena was one of 6 daughters raised by Sandra Sandy Clem. The family moved frequently, and Lena's upbringing was far from typical, with her mother engaging in dramatic and contentious romantic relationships with a series of partners. This chaotic environment would set the stage for the dark events that would unfold later in Lena's life. The trouble began in earnest when Lena's stepfather, Gary McCullough, disappeared in 1999. Lena was just 13 years old at the time. According to Lena's later confession, Sandy had shot Gary during an argument. Sandy then allegedly coerced Lena into helping her dispose of Gary's body. Lena recounted to her sisters and a boyfriend that she assisted in cleaning up the crime scene, transporting Gary's body to a burn pile on their farm and scattering the remains. Despite these details, no physical evidence was found, and Gary's body was never recovered, leaving the case officially unresolved. On February 14th, 2000.
So you're telling me this whole time this woman confessed this and they were like, well, we can't prove it, so...
2006, Lena Chapin vanished. By then, she was 20 years old and a mother herself, living in Dent County, Missouri. According to Sandy, Lena left with an unknown man to start a new life.
She killed him. She killed her.
Abandoning her young son Coulter.
She killed her.
This explanation raised immediate suspicions, as it was completely out of character for Lena to leave her child behind. Lena's sisters, particularly Robin, believed that Lena would never voluntarily leave her son and suspected foul play. The immediate aftermath of Lena's disappearance was fraught with confusion and concern. Lena's boyfriend reported that Lena had planned to meet him that day, but she never showed up. When he contacted Sandy, she repeated the story of Lena leaving voluntarily with an unknown man. Friends and family members were skeptical, noting that Lena had left behind all her personal belongings, including her purse and ID, which was highly unusual for someone supposedly starting a new life. The investigation into Lena's disappearance faced numerous challenges.
My guess is her mother killed her because she was going to confess what happened and maybe had evidence and she had to get rid of her. That's my guess.
Local law enforcement initially treated the case as a missing person scenario, not suspecting foul play due to the lack of concrete evidence. The absence of a body or clear signs of a struggle meant that leads were scarce. Over time, the case grew cold, with little progress made despite the family's persistent efforts to find answers. Lena's disappearance effectively silenced a key witness in Gary McCullough's presumed murder, complicating both investigations. The case took on a new life after being featured on Unsolved Mysteries, which prompted renewed interest and investigation from both the public and internet communities. Reddit, in particular, played a significant role in uncovering new evidence and generating discussion around the case. The subreddit r/unsolved mysteries became a hub for armchair detectives who were determined to piece together Lena's story. One of the most critical contributions from Reddit came from users who began to cross-reference publicly available information and search for any overlooked details. Discussions on the subreddit led to the discovery of inconsistencies in Sandy Klemp's statements and behavior. For example, users noted the suspicious nature of Sandy's claim that Lena had willingly left her child behind, a decision that seemed out of character for the young mother, according to others who knew her. Additionally, Reddit users dug into property records, social media profiles, and other public databases to find connections that might shed light on Lena's whereabouts. They uncovered potential sightings and reports that had not been thoroughly investigated by authorities. One user pointed out discrepancies in the timeline of events leading up to and following Lena's disappearance, suggesting that Sandy's accounts were not only inconsistent, but also deliberately misleading. The collaborative efforts on Reddit also highlighted the potential involvement of other family members. Users speculated that Lena's siblings might have more information about her disappearance than had been made public, and they discussed ways to approach them for insights while respecting their privacy and emotional boundaries. The community's collective analysis emphasized the importance of re-examining every aspect of the case, from the initial investigation to the subsequent media coverage. In a significant turn, The case's renewed visibility led to additional media inquiries and pressure on local law enforcement to revisit the investigation. The discussions on Reddit did not prove a concrete solution, but significantly contributed to maintaining public interest and applying pressure on the authorities to take the case seriously. This heightened scrutiny and persistent questioning might eventually lead to a breakthrough, as Reddit users and authorities alike continue to delve into this case.
Now it's top 8 because they didn't solve anything. It's fine if you want to say top 10 Inner Mysteries helped by Reddit, which both of those two would count for it, but they're not solved. Solved is the word you used. Solved, neither the last two have not been.
Number 1. Lily Peters. Lily Peters was a bright and cheerful 10-year-old girl living in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Known for her infectious smile and vibrant personality, she was adored by her family, friends, and teachers. Lily loved to play outside, ride her bike, and engage in adventures typical of a happy childhood. She was a student at Parkview Elementary School, where she was well liked by her peers and educators. Her loving nature and boundless energy made her a cherished part of her community. On April 24th, 2022, Lily went to visit her aunt's house, a common activity given the close-knit nature of her family. She was last seen leaving her aunt's home on her bike, heading back home. When she did not return home by the expected time, her family grew increasingly worried. They reported her missing, prompting an immediate search by local law enforcement and community volunteers. The search continued into the night, with everyone holding on to hope that Lily would be found safe. Tragically, the next day, April 25th, 2022, Lily's body was discovered in a wooded area near a walking trail, not far from where she had last been seen. The autopsy revealed that she had been strangled and suffered blunt force trauma, confirming that her death was a homicide. The brutality of the crime shocked the small community, leaving everyone who had known Lily in a state of grief and disbelief. Vigils and memorials were quickly organized to honor Lily's memory, as the community rallied together in support of her devastated family. In the immediate aftermath of Lily's murder, the Chippewa Falls Police Department worked tirelessly to gather evidence and follow up on any leads. They urged the public to come forward with any information that could aid in the investigation. The call for information was widely broadcasted, and tips began to pour in from concerned citizens. The investigation took an unexpected turn due to a critical tip from an anonymous Reddit user, which ultimately changed the course of the case. In a post on the subreddit r/Chippewa Falls, the user shared an unsettling detail in response to a story about Lily's death. What's scary is I was playing Pokemon Go in the park that day, walking along that same trail. My stomach turns when I think that I saw that girl in a pink/purple hoodie on her bike with another kid on my way out. I have a suspicion that it could be another kid that did it. This post was made about 24 hours before an arrest was announced, and it caught the attention of the Reddit community. Angela Osmond, one of the first to see the post, realized its potential significance and took swift action. She told The Sun, "When I saw the post and saw that the original poster wasn't responding, I just thought it was something that should be called in. This person places themselves at the scene and could possibly have been the last person to see Lily alive, or he could possibly be the one that did something to her." The web sleuths on Reddit, intrigued and alarmed by the post, began asking the anonymous user for more details. They wanted to know who the person seen with Lily was, what was he wearing, his height, and his age. However, the original poster did not respond, prompting Osmond to act. She decided to call the police and provide them with the tip and screenshots of the post. So I took it upon myself to call the police. What shocked me was, 19 minutes later, I got a call from a restricted number and I picked it up. It was the detective, and he just thanked me for calling the tip in and sending over the screenshots, and said he just wanted to let me know that they are working on it. This timely tip and the quick response from law enforcement played a crucial role in the investigation. The police, following up on the lead, narrowed their focus to 14-year-old Carson Petersberger, Lily's cousin. On April 26, 2022, just 2 days after Lily was reported missing, the Chippewa Falls Police Department announced the arrest of the teenage suspect. He was charged with first-degree...
That's insane. A 14-year-old... Why? Why would a 14-year-old take out their own cousin in such a gruesome manner?
...intentional homicide and assault. The case of Lily Peters highlights the significant impact that online communities can have in modern criminal investigations. The Reddit post, combined with the proactive involvement of the site's users, provided law enforcement with a vital lead that might have otherwise gone unnoticed.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for the next one.